Can you believe we are in the middle of November already? I feel like we're racing through the month at a rate of knots. It's a pretty drizzly day here in the Wiltshire countryside. I'm trying to cosy up and find the glimmers of warmth in the day. So I've got the lamps lit, the candles lit, and I've got some tea, which is lovely and warming. I thought you might like to come with me today to the Cotswold Christmas Fair. It's a fair with stalls where there are lots of small brands, lots of exhibitors who have quite a following on Instagram, who are kind of a little bit quirky, a little bit creative. Beautiful homeware, hand-knitted pieces, textiles. I think there's even somebody who's selling hyacinths in vintage French ceramic pots. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's something you might quite like to see. So I thought we would head up there and then come back and perhaps make some apple crumble together. A lovely cosy warming dish that always goes down well in this house. Actually, in fact, before I forget, I also wanted to say thank you for your incredible support on my last video. There's a big self-critical part of me that feels like it's inevitably going to be a one-off, but we will see. But I just wanted to say thank you. There seem to be so many like-minded people out there, people who like cosy English interiors, who like books, reading, art, and I'm just so pleased to have made the connection with you. I'll explain a little later on in the video when we come back and do some baking together, why it means so much to me. Anyway, let's head off to the Cotswold Christmas Fair. On the way, I'm going to call into a pub in Enstone called The Crown. Never been there before, but I'd like to try it out. So we'll head there first and then go on to the Christmas Fair.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to my skin. Tonight the whiskey feels stronger. Gasoline on hidden desires. So
So we're back home and I've caught Rhubarb asleep in her new dog bed. I ordered this just recently. She's actually awake now, but ever since this has arrived, she's been snuggled up, sheltering from the rain that you might be able to hear hammering against the glass. Good girl, Rhubarb. Good girl. So I hope that you enjoyed going along to the Christmas Fair. It's always a really lovely way to start the festive season, start thinking about the Christmas season ahead. This is a mixture of apples here from our garden and also from a friend of ours who lives locally, who gave me some of his windfall apples that he didn't want. I think he knows that my kids will devour anything that's put in front of them pretty much. I've started making it recently with homemade custard. I used to use a powdered variety, didn't really know how to make it, but it's incredibly simple. Much more nutritious, I think, so that's what I'll be pairing it with. This always goes down well in our house. Really good filler, nice end to the meal. Sorry, already there is Rhubarb scratching at the door. I will just go and let her in. Good girl, come on then. Yeah, here she is. Here she is. Good girl. Good girl. And Coco's here too. Just down here by the Arga, keeping warm. I hope you like the Christmas Fair. I thought it was really beautiful, really, it's a really lovely way to start thinking ahead to the festive season. I've got a few ideas for presents for people having been there, and it's always really lovely to go to these places. There are a number of people there who I've chatted to online before by my Instagram, and I've never met in the flesh, and there's something just so lovely about meeting people face to face and really cementing those relationships and friendships. That's particularly lovely. You'll see that I was drawn to a vintage stall that had some vintage art. There's a bit of a common theme there, I think. Some lovely glassware, lovely things for the Christmas table. There was a woman there called Nikki Dupont, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, who produces these beautiful hand-knitted pieces. She works with a team of people. I think that the jumpers take a week to make, and so they're really, really beautiful heirloom pieces. I also met with a friend of mine, Melissa, who has a beautiful homewares brand called Indue House. Handcrafted Indonesian homewares, things like scalloped placemats, napkin rings, beautiful trays, handcrafted laundry baskets, that kind of thing. In fact, I'll just show you one of her pieces now. Yeah, so it's this kind of thing. You might have seen them in a couple of the clips that I shared. Really lovely scalloped placemats. We use these pretty much every day, and they just somehow elevate the table, make it feel a little bit special. I haven't finished this one yet. In fact, the one's gone over. I also really like shopping small, supporting brands that, do things that are quite unique and heartfelt. There's that saying, isn't there, that when you buy from a small business, an actual person does a happy dance, and there's something that I think is quite joyful about that. I also really like going to these events. There are a number of makers and brands there that I know a little through my Instagram, and it's always really lovely to go and speak to people face to face. It really cements and strengthens the relationship and the friendship, I think. Oh, just dropped an apple there, hang on a second. Anyway, it's got me thinking about Christmas and Christmas presents, and anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've been thinking about starting this channel for maybe a year or more. I think it's one of those things when you're lacking confidence you put off. There's this self-critical voice in my head that's been telling me that I can't do it. I think that there is really something to be said for nudging yourself out of your comfort zone, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, I guess. Whether that's, starting a new job, retraining, pivoting in your career, doing something that you've always wanted to do, but perhaps the time has never felt right. If I'd have waited until I was feeling confident about doing this, I'd be 5 years down the line from here and still be in the same place. So I think there's something to be said for seizing the day, seizing the moment, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. I'm certainly pleased to have found a little niche of people who are like-minded, kind and warm-hearted, and who are choosing to be part of this journey together. I also asked last week what sort of things you wanted to see from this channel as we shape it together. Some ideas about, a house tour, countryside walks, books and reading. Somebody asked what kind of books I like reading, and I guess it's probably what's described as women's fiction. Writers like Maggie O'Farrell, Lucy Steeds, Sophie Mackintosh, Margaret Atwood. In fact, let me go grab a couple for you. So yeah, this is one of the best books that I've read in the last year. Lucy Steeds, The Artist. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction and is a particularly beautifully written book. Set in 1920s Provence, I think there is probably a bit of a common theme there. I talked last week about my love of 1920s art, and here I am talking about a novel set in the same period. So it tells the story of Etty, who is the niece of a celebrated artist, Edward Tartuffe, and she's employed as his domestic servant, basically. But she has within her this burning desire to be creative, to be an artist. And she sneaks off in the dead of the night, taking with her her uncle's painting. She copies the paintings and passes them off as his, so that when collectors come to the house to buy these works of art at great expense, they're actually the work of this unknown woman. It's also a novel which has a really wonderful sense of place. So it's set in Provence, there's a sense of the heat and the dust, France in the summertime, the smells and the tastes of the marketplace, nectarines and the apricots that Etty brings back to the farmhouse so that her uncle can paint them. And it also tells the story of the developing love affair between Etty and Joseph, who arrives from England, essentially to interview Tartuffe, and falls in love with Etty, tries to convince her to run away with him. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a beautiful story about female creativity. Definitely worth reading. In fact, I think I better check those apples before they're overdone. Anyway, what was I talking about? The importance, I think, about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. And, you know, I think that there is so much generosity out there. I'm also really appreciative of the help from people like Josie Irons and Ash Matzina, who, when I've talked to them about starting YouTube, have said, yes, you should definitely go for it. I think that too often we listen to that self-critical voice in our heads. Too often we worry about what if, and actually we just need to grasp the nettle, if that's the turn of phrase, and be bold, be confident, even if we're not feeling that way. In a similar vein, an Instagram friend of mine asked me to be involved in a coffee table book that she is currently working on. And to start with, I thought, is my house good enough to be featured in a book? Is it tidy enough? Probably not. So anyway, long story short, I decided to say yes, even though I wasn't feeling very confident about it. And somebody's coming to photograph the house later this week. But it does mean, though, that hopefully the house will be tidy enough for me to do a bit of a home tour for you, see some of the other rooms in the house. So yeah, hopefully that's something I can get to work on for next week's episode. Do keep your comments and ideas coming. I really love the way in which you're helping me to shape this channel, the way in which we're taking this journey together. Tell me what you would like to see from this channel. Like and subscribe. Right, I'm going to crack on with this crumble.
The fall is coming, I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to